Here's no recording in progress. All right, got it.
It's easier than taking minutes.
And there's a
Hello,
and
people.
Biggie makes three.
I bet. So my new book's on the truck from UPS. Should be here today.
Yay. Okay, we have a fourth member.
Congrats.
They didn't use your blurb,
Oh,
but I'll still give you a copy for.
oh, yay. And I have another one of your books one of these days when we meet in person. I want you to sign.
What one is that?
I can't remember which one it is, but anyway. Well, probably, if not before, I'll see you at the next poetry festival.
Yeah. Missed you at
Well,
the picnic.
I'm not sure who's joining us, but Jenna's coming in.
There we go.
Hey, there's Jenna. Woo, she went away. There she
Back
is.
again.
Hi,
Hello.
long time.
Yes. Thanks for having me back.
So Beth and I had talked to the library about possibly piggybacking the October festival, the November writers conference that the Rappahannock Regional Library is going to do, but that just didn't work out with the venue, which is Germanna, because of it would be Saturday evening.
And Saturday evening is bad because
Well, the college doesn't have full staff,
ah,
and it just created problems for the college. So, and I was debating with myself and with Beth about student participation on a weekend. We have gotten a few Germanna students and as many as 30 or 40 in the past, depending on the year. So we went back to a Thursday in October. It was free at Germanna. Both free in that it was open for us to use, and because Germanna's English department and the college would co-sponsor, we would not have to pay for the venue because there's a modest charge normally. So it's October 20, and right now what we have is from 4:30 to 5:30 we have a poetry workshop, and Mike Maggio, who's up in the Northern Virginia, former VP, is going to do a workshop on, shoot, the word just blew through my head, collage poetry.
Ooh.
So we have a room that holds about 20 people for the workshop. And then we have the theater, which holds up to about 95. The most we've ever had was a little over 50, I think, or 60. Mike will do a reading from his new book. I'm hoping you'll allow me to read from my new book, which is coming out next month. And we need one other person, preferably a woman, so that it's not just old white guys up there. And I don't have the third reader yet, so.
Did you try our state poet laureate? I think somebody suggested that some time ago.
Louisa did the face-to-face one we did last fall.
Mm-hmm.
We could bring her back if she's available. I don't know who the new poet laureate is going to be. The governor will choose over the summer from a list of 5 we're sending. We had Carolyn.
The final cut.
I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, did any women make the final 5?
I don't know. We voted and those 5 go to the governor.
Okay,
I don't see why there couldn't be 2 or 3 women in the list. But democracy is sometimes sexist. So, but
I'm
we
just
have
curious.
had,
I'm just
in
curious.
the past, we've had a good representation of women since this poet laureate started a couple decades ago.
Well,
So-
to Jenna's point, if there's a woman in the 5, maybe we could invite her regardless of whether she's named
That's true.
state poet laureate.
That's true. So I'll go back and right now I can't remember the names of the people.
Mhm.
But
don't
I'll go
remember.
back to those emails and I'll see if I can recruit somebody. So the agenda would be the optional 4:30 workshop, then half-hour break. That might be a good time for a table to sell books during that half an hour. Although it could start before because not everybody would be in the workshop. And then at 6, we would have 3 poets reading for approximately hour 15 minutes. And then we'd have an open mic. And what I'm thinking I'd like to try, if I could figure out how to reach the right people in our region, it would be nice to incorporate a poetry slam into the open mic reading,
Ooh.
which might bring younger folks in, younger being anybody under 40, so that, help us with getting some younger folks and different kind of diversity.
Mhm.
So that's where we are.
Maybe
Steve?
we should have a membership desk for the PSV and for Riverside Writers.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I
Yeah,
was thinking
annual.
is giving free memberships to have people vote on the open mic or something, or depending on how many people did open mic, give free memberships. We have a budget of $300. If we don't have to spend it for the poets or the venue, we could use some or all of that. Student memberships are $10, $30? $10, I think.
Yeah, I think the adult memberships are 30. So
30. So we could, potentially do some adult and some student free memberships, which might increase the youth participation in the contest and maybe get, we could seduce some of them to stay members and improve our local membership as well as statewide. So
Like the way you think.
that's where we are right now. Any concerns, suggestions, or other ideas?
just point of curiosity, we've got the hour and 15 minutes for the poets reading, followed by the open mic / poetry slam. How long does a typical poetry slam in this type of arrangement take? I'm wondering time-wise how much we'd need to allow.
Well, I don't know if there's a typical or not. We would follow the same pattern, I think, that we did with open mic. You have 5 minutes and then the next person goes up. When we first started doing this, Beth, I think the first couple of times or something like that, we had about an hour's worth of readers.
It's close.
Had around 20 people or so.
Yeah, 45 to 50 minutes at least.
Yeah, so I would guess, I'm saying the event could go as late as 9, which would give us plenty of time. It would be a nice problem to have that we have too many people.
Right.
because that's not a problem we have had. And certainly since COVID, it's been a challenge.
Mhm.
Hoping that in the fall, with more classes face to face, we can get more Germana students involved. I'd like to, I wish that Mary Washington would participate a little more, even when we had, oh shoot, her name blew through my head. Poet in residence and professor Mary Washington read the year that Henry Hart did. We
Mm.
didn't have any
Oh,
Mary
right.
Washington students
Oh,
show
yeah.
up. So
I mean,
that's frustrating.
Hmm.
I'd also like to invite, Lord Fairfax Community
Mhm.
College, which is the other community college in our region. They're split between our region and the Northwest region. But the Warrenton campus is in Fauquier, so that's in our region. And the same thing with high school students. It would be nice to get high school students to come. But when I talk to a teacher, they seem to want to make a field trip out of it, so do it during the day. So we may just need to do something maybe in the spring, in the daytime for high school students. I'd love to do what a college where I was dean, Jackson College in Michigan. They had a grant and they had a program that was years old, and I was brought in not just as dean but as a poet, and I was one of two poets that did a reading. And then there were like 300 students in the audience, 200,
Wow.
300 students from the area high schools from 3 counties. And then the students went to breakout sessions in classrooms where a poet or English professor workshopped a poem with them. And that was really nice. But, that took them a long time to develop that. So maybe we could do something more modest in the spring. Michelle, are you there?
yeah,
I-
Michelle, she's my writing buddy. Oh, you're a kitty cat.
Oops.
That's okay.
Hate when that happens.
Looks good. Where'd you get the haircut?
Oh, how do I change this? Ooh.
Are you using Snap or what?
Oh, this is on Zoom. It's a beta avatar they have now. You can
Oh,
I've
one.
got to get it.
See? Da, da, da.
Well, I think you
I
got to
mean,
go to
Beth,
settings.
you're already wearing a blue shirt, so it's not under the 3 little dots up in the corner.
No, I'm looking on my settings and I'm trying to find it.
That's hilarious.
I think it's great.
This is the energy we need.
I know one time when I was meeting with some of my students for my online class, I used a Snap. I don't know what you call it. It gives you a virtual mask.
Yes.
Turn myself into some kind of weird wizard
Was that
here
intentional?
with the white beard and everything. You shall not pass.
Yeah, Gandalf.
Here, Michelle, I need a photo of that.
Oh,
Buddy.
Maybe we should just do a poetry festival where everybody is an avatar.
I love it. We could just do persona poems.
oh my.
Well, if it's in October, it'll be around Halloween.
There you go.
I cannot I can't take it off. Oh, that's funny. Uh-oh.
You are trapped in the body of an avatar forever.
Sure.
Metaverse, that's what it is. Oh my gosh. Oh well. Sorry.
That's okay.
I can
Um,
vouch for her. She is a real person.
So any other questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas for our fall festival.
Are you guys on Instagram? Because I couldn't find you on there.
The Poetry Society statewide has an Instagram account. We don't have one for the region. I have one, but I think
Personal
my
account.
handle is Sam DVA or something like that.
Oh,
Well, because of COVID, I don't think it would hurt to advertise this as a coming out, as a reblossoming of poetry in Virginia.
Right.
Since we've been hiding away for 2 years. Our coming out party. That wouldn't hurt.
Well, the libraries have helped us advertise it. Germana will use their social media to help promote it.
Maybe get
I don't know.
the young writers.
Yeah, Bronwyn's group, the Young Writers.
Yeah.
Well,
Although she said they've had attendance problems lately. They've dwindled too.
yeah, I was scheduled to do a virtual workshop with them, but their membership has declined. So
A new
I
school
think
year
they're in
might
a
be right on.
rebuilding mode, and probably maybe it'll have some of it rebuilt by October. I don't know. We'll just have to stay in touch with her.
Yeah, with new classes. Who knows?
so if we
I
do,
think go ahead.
if
I'm
we
sorry.
do something, Poetry Society of Virginia advertise it on their Instagram?
The Poetry Society of Virginia.
Yes. Will they?
They could. It'll be on the Facebook page. It'll be in the newsletter.
Wonder who runs their Instagram. Do they?
Right now, there's nobody.
Yeah, there's an empty spot.
Or the person who volunteered after I was doing it for a while till I became VP. She is giving it up, so we need somebody to take that on.
For the whole state.
Yeah.
Lots of exciting stuff going on though.
To reach young people, you have to go to TikTok and do a dance, I think. Which, if I thought that would work, I would be
Snapchat.
happy to do. Because basically I'm a ham with no shame, but I don't think watching me dance, if anything, it would chase people away.
Michelle's new avatar could dance for
There you
her.
go. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I wonder if just
and-
like, do we have just like old fashioned flyers? that you put out
Yes,
in coffee
we'll
shops?
have some flyers. In the past, Jim Solomon in the graphic design department of Germana has done one for us and printed some. And we also have them as PDFs,
Okay,
which I convert to an image so that you can do it if you need an image on a website.
and there it would be nice for Instagram if it was the 1-to-1 ratio.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's hard with a flyer because the flyers are 8.5 by 11 ratio,
Right.
whatever that aspect ratio is, but
Yeah, we'd have to cut the image up and use portions of it. But
Yeah.
that's doable.
And in the past, we've also put it in the weekend section of the Freelance Star and the Front Porch, the free newspaper.
yeah, that's
available.
definitely not how you're going to reach young people, but
No, they won't read it there.
we don't even get the Freelance Star now that they're no longer delivering.
Well, with young people, if a particular social media source is popular with people my age, they will leave it as fast as possible for a new one. So
Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Do you know if the PSV Centennial Anthology will be out by then?
No. No, we're at the vanguard of the 100th anniversary. We will be the first region to celebrate with our festival, the 100th anniversary.
I was thinking if copies were out, we could, give out tickets to everyone who comes to the event. And then, I'd buy 3-5 copies of the anthology, and we could give them out for free, calling out ticket numbers.
We could certainly do that a year from now. But its release will be coterminous with the May Festival, the state festival.
Oh,
There you are.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Figure it out.
yay.
Ugh.
So I'm sorry, David, you said the release will be in May.
May of 2023.
Okay,
which
That's a good
is-
idea.
Months to go.
good idea.
It's
What
it's
about,
set up to go out with the state festival.
Yeah. Does anybody in our region attend like local open mics or know of local open mics that we can promote this event?
I don't know what's around anymore. There were 2 poetry slams happening pretty regularly in downtown
Okay.
Fredericksburg before COVID.
Right.
I've not seen anything promoting those recently. I don't
Gotcha.
know what goes on in Warrenton. There's nothing in Culpeper right now,
Okay.
but
Well, so in terms of, yeah, because our region goes to Warrenton and Culpeper, right? And
yeah, it goes from Caroline up to King George, Stafford, over through Fauquier to Culpeper and down to Madison.
okay. Oh, part of Madison too.
Pardon me?
Part of Madison County is what you said?
All of Madison.
Oh,
County.
all of Madison. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm lucky that you guys most of you are here. And, I'm looking at the Fredericksburg region. I just noticed Katora Coffee downtown Fredericksburg has a sandwich board mentioning Friday night poetry. So I'm gonna go check that out, see what they have going on. They have something called an open mic on Wednesdays. I don't know if that's mostly music. But I will look into that. My husband, who loves to hang out at Highmark Brewery in, I guess that's Stafford, but it's between the King George Stafford line, has talked to them about, could that be a venue for a possible poetry open mic? And they were all about having people Mondays or Tuesdays. So I may dip my toe in that water, not in a slam, because I don't really know that world, but just a open mic kind of thing.
Pass that on to us.
Yeah, I will.
And both in terms of whether we want to individually participate, but also in
100%.
terms of helping to promote the events and because I'm hoping we'll start getting back to, if we're going to meet monthly. I think probably what would be a good option is to alternate face-to-face with Zoom to try to include the most people, because some of our members have been, I won't say housebound, but it's more difficult for them to get out. And I don't want to exclude people.
Sure. Are you going to continue to do, now you said monthly meetings, is that separate from these meetings? Is that
This
strictly?
is one
for
of the monthly meetings.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and the purpose of the monthly meetings, one is business meetings, which is what this is more or less.
Yeah.
And 2, workshop type meetings.
I know this, I'm sorry I haven't been more involved this time. Time slot is always a tricky one for me, but I was home and I really wanted to catch up with what was going on.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Well, we didn't pick it to keep you out, I promise you.
No, I know. Totally understand. It's just, It was not you guys, it was just
I mean, we
lots
could,
going on Saturday, middle of a Saturday.
yeah. I mean, we could pick a different day and time.
It's
Oh.
hard to pick something where everybody can make it. I totally understand.
I mean, in fall, some people are excluded because they watch college football. I mean,
Yeah, always something.
so we have a couple minutes left. I don't really have any news from the state, unless you want to say, one, we do need a social media coordinator to take over. And two, we do need a treasurer to take over. They don't need to be on the board. In fact, preferably they shouldn't be, because having a role on the board is already some duties involved with that. So if you know somebody, those are both important roles.
All right, good.
It's, I think about, and we talked about the anthology. So I don't know if any of you have successes this month you want to talk about, in either creative successes or getting something published somewhere.
I know you have, David. Didn't you just post?
Well, I've got my new book out. UPS is delivering it to me today, and it'll be officially released on the 12th of July. And I spoke to the woman who finished second, or no, that doesn't sound right. I won the prize and she won first place, or something like that. No, I was first place and she was, I don't know, whatever. Both of our books are being published, and we're trying to figure out how we could do things together
Oh,
when we're on different coasts. She's in the state of Washington. And I just had Aji magazine took another poem of mine, which comes from a new collection that's unpublished. And I'm trying to remember the title of it now. It punned on something from Hebrews. Oh, some have entertained unaware. And the conceit is penguins show up on my doorstep.
I love it.
And basically trying to escape climate change.
Mhm.
So it's a serious but whimsical,
Mhm.
I guess you'd say.
Gotcha.
Instead of the chickens coming home to roost, it's penguins.
Penguins, right.
So yeah, I keep stubbornly writing and sending stuff out.
Good.
The secret to my success is that I don't know when to quit.
Well, I think I may be one of these days I'm going to win the title for the most rejections received in one day.
Well,
Oh, in one day.
Yes.
I've
What's your
gotten-
current record?
My current record's, I think, 8.
that beats me. My record for one day is 5. And my record for time for rejection is 2 hours.
Oh,
Okay, you've beaten me. I've not
I
had that.
submitted it and 2 hours later got a rejection.
I've gotten a 24-hour turnaround. That was painful, but yeah.
I think
I've got one. It's
it's gonna
been
be
like
hard
3
to
or
beat.
4. But not
Now I
2.
have to ask, was that a suite of poems to one publisher, or was that
It was a group of
multiple?
3 or 5 poems. Yeah.
Right. Was that one poem in one fell rejection, or one
No, they
group of poems?
they
or-
rejected the group of them
Yeah. No, Beth.
in 2
Oh,
hours.
mine, no, it was 8 different
Oh, okay. A different
That's
publisher.
a high bar. I'm aspiring to knock you off that crown, Beth. Off that throne.
Well, I have discovered, I think it's weather related. We had that heat snap.
Yeah.
Whenever there's really bad weather, I think they get grouchy and they just decide they're gonna throw out everything.
Nope. Not taking
Well,
into that.
I could, I've served as editor, reader, judge in contests, and it's challenging. I've had both where it was a struggle to find somebody to select. And then the other problem, which is harder, but a good
Right.
problem to have, is where
Who to let
it's
go.
like with the states, with the Edgar Allan Poe Award, I came down to about, I don't know, 11 or 12 poems. And just about any one of them could have been first. And I
Right.
had to narrow that down to first, second, third, and honorable mention. And so I won't say it was arbitrary, but that's where you really start getting really picky. Like, well, this line's a little awkward and, that kind of thing.
I like to think it's all who you appeal to on a particular day and a particular moment.
Mhm.
What I struggle to do is to not impose my own aesthetic,
Yeah,
but to try to look at the poem for what it's trying to be.
Mm.
And how well does it succeed at being what it's trying to be? Which I guess is kind of old fashioned, because I know I heard a panel of editors about 4 or 5 years ago, young editors, saying they laughed at that you needed,
really? Wow.
the idea that you would pick, the best was really old fashioned, and what you really needed to pick was the important. But I couldn't get a definition of what important meant.
What that meant.
Unless it was like a political agenda or
Mhm.
social agenda. And I'm not opposed to political or social commentary poems, but oh well.
Yeah, but if they're not good, then,
Good but important. I guess.
that doesn't, yeah.
I'm approaching my 1500th rejection.
Nice.
Ouch.
But that's over 40
These are
years.
good things. These are good things to hear. These are good and important, necessary. We don't talk enough about rejection and how much work you need to put in
Mhm.
to get the good stuff.
I think it was Jane Hirschfeld, somebody like that, who said that if you've got a 10% acceptance rate, you're doing well.
That's pretty high.
If it's much higher than that, you're not trying hard enough.
Interesting.
Yeah. You're not going for discriminating journals.
Right.
Yeah.
And if that's, it was someone of the caliber of Jane, if it wasn't Jane Hirschfeld.
Mhm.
And if she's looking at a 10% success rate, then
One of my very favorite writers, Jane Yolen, still posts on Facebook, and I adore her for this. That she's 80 plus years old, I think. And she'll post every day's, got a picture book, manuscript accepted, got this poem accepted, got 5 rejections. And the next day, all rejections. Next day, all rejections. And I love her for that, because she's just, you're like, Jane Yolen, like how do people not scoop up everything she writes? And yet, no, they don't.
we're about to get kicked off.
All
So,
right.
any last thoughts besides rejection is good?
Well, as far as next steps, I guess until we nail down who the 3 readers are, we're in a holding pattern. Is that correct?
There isn't really much more for us to do. I've got to get the 3rd reader, and then we've got to Jenna, you can let us know your success at finding that venue. Maybe it's a way to reach people about having a poetry slam and getting the word out on that.
Sounds good.
Then we'll meet again in a month.
I just have a quick question. Do you know, does anybody do poetry slams on Clubhouse?
Ooh, do you guys know what Clubhouse is?
Audio. It is social audio, so you would think that would be a thing.
Don't know that one. I'm not on that, so I don't know.
Michelle is a Clubhouse guru.
Yeah,
I'm not on it, but
here all the time. I'll have to take a look and see if I can find some.
I mean, we could do something ourselves where we have one periodically on that and promote that. That would be a good thing.
Yeah, that would be really good.
All right, we're gonna get kicked off. So I'll say farewell to everybody. Happy Father's Day if that applies, and take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
David.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you all.
Bye.
Have a good one.